Greetings, folks. It's Friday, the 7th of February, 9 o'clock. I'm up a little bit late. Cheers. So right quick, at first I was supposed to go out last night. I had a free ticket to see Mark Juliana play drums on Bowie's last album. I didn't go. Just thought I'd mention that. It's just real easy to stay home. It really is. It's not that I'm not interested in other people playing. It's just real easy to stay home. Nothing planned for today. I enjoyed sharing that bit of German music. Years ago I did it. So I think I even called it krautrock in the video years ago. But it's sparked a revisit to several things musically in the last couple of days that I've really enjoyed, although I put most of the records away. One that I haven't put away that I ended up playing all the way through, which I just love. Very similar to Popol Vuh is the Gila. Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. And yes, Popol Vuh members are on the album, not just Florian Fricke. But some other stuff. I'll go ahead and show because the CD player is back in business. So I listened to most of this last night. Namlook 7. Pete Namlook. Gone way too soon. Much too young to be dead already. This fax label I found fascinating. And if you see this, Craig, R, I know that before you sold your collection, I think you were collecting this guy or this label fax. And these are hard to find. I think there's even some vinyl, but I've never seen it. This stuff is interesting because it's similar to Klaus Schultz to me in the way that he seems to be working rather improvisatory and is good with timbres on synthesizers. But his mix of movie dialogue from space movies, from science fiction, works really well. Really enjoyed this last night. This is something that I pulled because I had recently played it. Another one of his albums, Andrea Marcelli, Silent Will, a drummer whose background I don't know. It's interesting that this guy has an interesting career. He's on Verve Records here. He has big names, but I find his drumming lacking. I'm listening and he's got skills, but it's like the groove is not very tight and it's not completely convincing. It's almost like, is this guy as a musician, but he has contacts or he has money so he can hire these folks? But anyway, I was listening to this for the Alan Holdsworth. Alan Holdsworth is on 2 tracks on this. Makes it worth it completely. The 3rd track, Final Project, has one of those moments where Alan Holdsworth reveals himself deeply, and then he goes back. It's like, oh my God, what did he do? I had to play this particular solo like 6-7 times last night. There's just a couple notes that he hits. It's like, oh my God, wow. That's how it touches me. And it's like, I don't even know what he's saying. I'm not even sure what it is I'm feeling, but it's whoa. Alan Holdsworth was incredible. No one like him. So it makes the rest of the album, frankly, I had to skip around because he has another guitar player on here. Mike Stern. And Mike Stern is good, but after hearing Holdsworth, there was nothing left for Mr. Stern to do on here. Silent Will. So, one of the few VC members that I follow regularly is Mr. Michael P. Dawson, and I watched his video this morning. And sure enough, it's not like I think Michael is like me. I think we're probably very different. But he is the sort of person that I vibe with, and I have a feeling that if we lived in the same city, that we could collaborate. Anyway, he was showing some stuff this morning, and one of the records he showed reminded me of a record I almost forgot I had. Joan La Barbara tape songs. Now, I just pulled it. I haven't played it. I haven't played this in years. You hear me talking about how I'm not into vocals, but don't get me wrong. I'm not a typical vocal listener, but things like this where people are exploring, doing different things, I love it. So this is out for play. And he showed some Diamanda Galas. I don't have anything on vinyl, but I saw her live with John Paul Jones. That was intense. That was intense. Interestingly, though, while looking up the Joan La Barbara album, it made me think I have so much stuff that I get my mind gets crammed up and I can't remember what I have. But it made me think of something else, that a couple other things that are kind of unique, because the Joan La Barbara album is unique. And I have other stuff like that. It's just like, it's not coming to me. But this came to mind right away. This field recordings album, DDD, by Daisuke Suzuki. And now partially why I'm showing this is because I'm thinking to myself, well, if there's anybody else that I know that might have this, it would be Mr. Michael P. Dawson. This is pretty freaking cool, as far as I'm concerned. This is a field recording, two of them, made in Tokyo in 1996 and 97. One side is 2 parts of The Sound of Ducks. Now that sounds like, well, what ducks? Are you kidding me? Yeah. And then the other side is crickets. Now, again, we hear crickets all the time in the summer. It's like just white noise to us. This is a beautiful recording, and it's interesting because it does get you to listen. Well, it gets me to listen to the sing-song quality of the rhythms and the overlapping rhythms of the crickets chirping. So I wanted to show this, and I don't know if Michael will see this, but I wonder if he has this album. I bet he's got stuff like it. It brought to mind something else that I could remember to show. It's not on vinyl, but it's another very cool field recording by Geir Jenssen. This is by Geir Jenssen. It's Choi Oyu, field recordings from Tibet, from Ash International. Now, full disclosure, I have plundered this for, I've sampled this. You'd probably never be able to identify it. That's why I like stuff like this. Comes with a booklet. I love stuff like this. But it's literally, it explains what you're listening to. And it's like going there. It is. It's like going there. These are good, really good recordings. And I love stuff like this. I love sound. This is a cool one, though. Geir Jenssen Cho OU 8201M. Field recordings from Tibet. Some good stuff. Now, I don't know if Brian Day of Public Eyesore watches me regularly, but I just received a package of cassettes from Brian Day which I listened to one last night, and I'll review them eventually. But what I will say about Brian Day is Brian Day's his receptor is wide open. He will release stuff that no one else will, and some of it makes you scratch your head. It's like, what is really going on here? Which I am intrigued by. I like that. Anything else sitting out here? Well, this is sitting out for play. Hasn't been played yet, but it's out for play. It's a Stereolab related project. As I was looking for some other things, this came up. The Cavern of Anti-Matter Hormone Lemonade is the name of this. I'm thinking some members of Stereolab are involved here somehow. Let me see if I can. Tim Gain, yeah. There you go. All right. And then also the graphics are very Stereolab-ish. And how about that? Wow. I forgot. It's nice. So this is out for play too. But the La Barbara is going to get played. Very cool. Okay, so that's okay. It's only 11 minutes. I'll do a poll. I keep thinking about another topic, but it's like, let me just keep rolling like this. This is cool. This is cool. Actually, I can pull it because it's right here. I just recently played this, and this is awesome. My understanding is that this was made. The guys were barely out of their teens when they made this. Italian prog rock, dedicato a Fraz, Semiramis. This is very ambitious. It's all the way prog, all the way into noise making. You know, improvisation, just making some noise. Oh, don't you just love it? I love it. I love those. So fanciful. It lives up to it. This album lives up to these. There's a story. I forget the story about this person. But this is wonderful. I don't speak Italian, and I don't think it would help, actually. I just love drama. That's what I get in spades from a lot of good Italian progressive rock, is the sense of drama and importance, you know, that whatever they're singing about and playing about, it's like, this is really important. It feels like it. I love it. Semiramis, something I played recently. And then actually, just to keep it real, I'd shown you that Mythos album, but I also have this album by them on picture disc, Concrete City. Completely different from that. Still synthesizer oriented, but much more palatable, you know, much more main melodic. There's some vocals on here, but this is pretty good. I don't like playing picture discs, but when I found it, it's like Mythos. Okay, it's going home with me. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. Okay, I'll do a poll down here. Don't look, Dereck. Don't look. I didn't look, so let's see. What did I get? Oh, yes, baby. So these are my W's and VW's over here. Recently, I did a poll, and it ended up being The Wake. And here is another one of their albums, which I like even better. Beautifully Melancholy on Factory Records. Here Comes Everybody. This is beautiful. Very melancholy. Awesome. If you've never heard this album, even if you don't like this sort of post-punk sort of thing, it's not punk at all. And it's not new wave either. It's just killer. And to me, it sounds kind of timeless. Melancholy and Beautiful. There's a song on here called Melancholy Man. And it fits and it gets it. It earns that title. Can't think if I'm forgetting something to share. I guess not. Okay, folks, that's what I have today. It's a Friday. Got my I don't know what to say. It's like intention. It seems like some possible good news could be happening for some of my family members, maybe some new jobs coming. I hope it happens. That's been some of the chatter on the phone. You know, people are looking for new jobs. I hope it happens, people. We got to keep above water. We got to stay afloat. Okay, so here's what I have been forgetting. In the last round of big CD sales and sending out, I made several mistakes. I'm really sorry. And it just shows me I've got to slow down and do one thing at a time, because when I get a bunch of orders, I'll kind of get like a industry thing going here, you know. But I realized that I was doing more orders than one at a time, and they got mixed up. So some people got free CDs, some people didn't get the right CD. I'm taking care of that. I'm letting you know that I will slow down and do one order at a time and double checked to make sure you get the right order. I have something new coming for March, but I still have this stuff, and you've seen it already. You gotta get this. Here, all these are down in numbers. I make 100 of each. I have one left of Sonicity, only one. And the others are down to about 30 copies a piece, except for Interlude. Interlude I have a lot. But these are down to about 30 copies a piece of this. And here, I've already sold the majority of these. They won't be here forever, so if you're at all interested in my music, and I'm glad to say, no filler. No filler. That's one of the other things that I've learned from being a listener. I was just, okay, I'll share this. No filler on my CDs. There's no point in putting something on there that I don't want to listen to. So, this has never come out on vinyl. This is Steve Jenssen and Richard Barbieri, formerly of Japan, Raintree Crow, Dolphin Brothers, JBK. I love these guys. You know, Richard Barbieri was a guest on my channel a couple of years ago. I got to interview him. I love their work. And yet, as I listened to this last night, the tracks that I really like, and there's some duds on here. There's a couple of tracks on here, it's like, yeah, I've always skipped that over. And as I listened last night, I listened to the point where it's like, I'm skipping this. I don't like this. I just don't like what it's doing. And I'm happy to say, because the music that I make, that I'm sharing with you, that I make, very selfishly, it's for me, okay? So these CDs I'm making for you, they have to be 100% listenable to me. And they are. No duds. No duds. So I was kind of like remarking to myself, as much as I like these guys, there was about 3 tracks on here that I was like, why did they put that on there? Why did they even bother with that? But that's the muse. That's the muse of art. We follow where it leads, right? Anything else screaming? Well, I'll just, since these are always screaming at me, because I see them. I've shown these before, but I'll just show it again because I just love this band, Wigwam. It's got a real thick spine, so I'm always seeing the wigwam when I sit here. And if you don't know the band from Finland, I've talked about them many times. This is some wonderful progressive jazzy rock. This is a reissue. It took me forever. I have an original of it on the Love label, but I don't have a first edition of it. The first edition of it was a gatefold. My Love edition is not a gatefold, but it's on the Love label. This is a reissue with a booklet added to the gatefold. Great band if you don't know this band. Wigwam. Okay, folks, that's what I have for you today. It's Friday, so if you feel like spending some money, or if you've been waiting to show me some support financially, do it today. Buy this music. I'll leave the link to my Bandcamp site below the video. Have a good weekend.